What on guys, Commander here, and welcome to a new video on PC Building Simulator. Now, what we're going to be doing today is something that I said I would do quite a while ago, and as of recording this video, I've only pretty much just done about a month off of actually doing it, and as this video goes out, I'll probably be about like 3 months, 2 months maybe. But basically, what we're going to be doing is building my PC as it stands at the moment, but we're going to be doing it before and after, right? So, first of all, there's some things I need to talk about in regards to what we're going to be doing, right? So, there's certain parts that I can't actually make exactly the same, like the case, for example, because I have got a Game Max Titan, which is on screen now. Now, I know we've done a video, building my PC, already. We've done it twice, I think. No. There's only one on the channel. We've done it twice, but there's only one video up on the channel because for some reason the first one that we did didn't upload or I lost it or whatever. Anyway, but what we did in that video is we basically just did it in another case. Not anything too expensive, but just another case. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do it in a Be Quiet Silent Base 601 PC case. Again, not for any particular reason, I just love these cases. Like, if I could, what I've basically done is, from the original base that we did with the previous setup, with the previous PC that I put together, which is what I had to start off with, I've basically upgraded pretty much everything. I've tore everything out and put it all back in, but done it gradually. I haven't done it all at once. So I've added an extra 8 gigs of memory, so I've now got 16 gigs of memory. I've upgraded from a 1050 Ti to a 2070, and I've changed from an 8100 CPU, an i3, to a Ryzen 7 3700X. So massive. It's worked out over the time. Must have worked out, but I think it's like 1,200 quid's worth of actual PC upgrades. I think we're getting onto that anyway. So yeah, it's quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but anyway, so there's certain things that I just sort of have to just do as best as I can with, because there's certain things that because this motherboard that I had originally is a gigabyte one, but the one that I've got is, because the one I had was a Z370PD, I think, I'm pretty sure, but that isn't in this game at the moment, so I'm just going to have to wing it and just go one of them. Let's go with this one. It has rock. This is Z390. My one was Z370, so ATM works in Z370. I'm pretty sure. 8100, yeah, there it is. So, 8100 CPU, that's the one we had originally. And we had 2 sticks of Corsair Vengeance. I think it was black rare, because my case is a white case. It's like all white. So when I was going through these upgrades, I wanted to get it as white as possible. And what I'll do is I'll put a picture up on the screen now, a number of pictures, of what the PC looks like now as it stands. Again, if you pay attention to my Twitter, you'll know what it looks like, because it's, I posted pictures up there as I was building it, and then once I'd done it. Right now, this Corsair Dominator is 2666. I mean, that's as close as I'm going to get. The stick that I had was 2400, so it wasn't a massive issue. So then if we go graphics card next, then we go, 1050 Ti. Now this one is the one that I know is absolutely in this game. This is the exact one that I used to have, the Gigabyte 1050 Ti Windforce OC edition. So I could actually overclock this one if I so much wished to. The only difference with this one is that it didn't have a 6-pin connector. It didn't have any connectors in it, because the graphics card itself was quite weak, so it didn't draw a lot of power, so it could just draw its power from the motherboard. The one I've got at the moment, the 2070, it has a 8-pin and a 6-pin, I'm pretty sure. Again, I might be completely wrong, but that's what I think it's got. So I also started off with a terabyte of hard disk, and we'll stick this. So 1 terabyte of hard disk, and I think it was 120. I think it was 120 SATA SSD. I think so. I'll stick you there, right? We also went for a 600-watt power supply. Now, I have a little bit of a story with the power supply. With power supplies, right? So how I started off putting the PC together was it's EVGA. That's a 1600 watt. We'll do a Cooler Master one. Instead of bronze power supply, it don't really make that much difference as far as accuracy is concerned. But this is just a message of from personal experience to everybody else, if you are putting a PC together, the one thing you should not cheap out on is your power supply. Cheap out on your motherboard, CPU, graphics card if you really have to. But the one thing you should never cheap out on is your power supply. If it means getting a slightly crappier motherboard or CPU or graphics card to get a reliable power supply, just do it, because it's not worth it. When I put the PC together, the PC together that we're putting together now, when I did this one in real life the first time, I very nearly blew my components because I put in an old power supply from an old PC that I had beforehand. And consequently, because the power supply was really old, I stuck it in with brand new components, because bear in mind, I built this in 2018, I think, so the motherboard was new. No, I built it in 2018, the motherboard was 2017, and obviously 8th gen was relatively new at the time. That power supply was about 2012. Now, that power supply being that old, stick it in with newer components, it got too much of a workload on it, and it just died. It just went instantly. It booted up to the BIOS once, and then it died. There was no correlation to it. The only correlation to it was that it blew. I then did a bit of testing on it, and it just died. There was nothing there at all. It was gone. Yeah, well, I don't need to bother with clocking on this, because the 8100 you can't actually overclock. So what we'll get at raw is the raw performance that we got originally. I mean, I did overclock, use the factory overclock. That blew my brains out. I did use the factory overclock for what was it, on the graphics card, but it didn't really make that much of a difference. But I thought I'd have it just because why not. I also do system info, and then I think we'll just leave it at that. And then restart, and then set up 3D Mark. Now, what I'm going to do, I don't want this one here, so that can go back up on the shelf. So if we just get another Be Quiet Silent Wings Base Pro. Let's go for the red one this time. So we'll pop you down there. We'll just open up system info and then boot 3D Mark up. Oh, that bloody frame rate, God's sake. Anyway, so now what we'll do is, I'm not sure if my motherboard is actually in this or not. It's a ROG, what is it? X570. No, it's not. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll just go X570. So these are the only two X570s they've got. So we'll go for the extreme one. So the motherboard that I've got now is the I've got to try and think of it. It's the Asus ROG Strix X570E gaming motherboard. That's the official full title of it. So I needed this because I wanted to stick in the motherboard and the CPU were really hard for me to choose. I went through a number of different CPUs thinking that I was going to get this. Originally I was going to get the this one, the 2700X. It's an 8-core, 4.3 gigahertz. Well, it's not 4.3, it's about 3.7 on base. But it's 8 cores at 3.7 gigahertz. Now, that's what I was going to get originally. But then then somebody said to me in one of my Discord groups when I was posting the spec of what I was going to get, they said, why don't you go for Ryzen 7? No, Ryzen 7 3rd gen. Because it's even more power. It's slightly more powerful, and you get the same results, but it's a bit more powerful. So I thought, you know what, I'll have a look at it, and it was a bit more expensive than what I was going to go for. But looking at the benchmarking, I was looking at getting a 9900K, because then I wouldn't even need to change the motherboard at all. But the issue with getting the 9900K was that I'd be spending 400 quid plus 150 quid liquid cooler, an IO liquid cooler. And then it'd be more work, and then it would cost me more than getting the 3 bits individually and putting it all together again. So I then decided to go for the 3700X, because this benchmarks higher than the 9900K. So that's what convinced me to get this one originally. This one benches lower, the 2700X, than the 9900K. This one benches, although slightly higher, certainly I think single-threaded applications, it runs slightly lower, but again, it's still a competitor to the 9900K. So I'm quite happy with that. That's what I'm going to use, and that's what I use, and that's what I got. Now, I did have a bit of a mishap when trying to install this, because I ordered it and I looked through it. Now, AMD regardless of all of their CPUs, they'll always use pins. Now, Intel have just recently, especially with their 7th, 8th, and 9th gen CPUs, have all used contact pads. Their pins are in the motherboard. Now, this is a part in Intel's favor because you don't, although you can still bend the pins in a motherboard, and if you do bend the pins in the motherboard, that chip's gone, it's dead. You can't recover it. However, it's so much harder to do it, and as long as you're careful with the chip, it's relatively hard to actually bend those pins, as long as you do it properly. With Ryzen and AMD CPUs, they've got pins on them. Loads of tiny little pins, and if you bend one of those pins, then you are buggered, right? And if you break one of them off, you are done, without even any question, right? So, when I got each of the parts, I got the aero cooler first, then I got the CPU and motherboard second, all but like together. And I always check over the parts just to make sure everything's here. They're not faulty, they're not chipped or broken or anything, because if they are, I'll send them back. But the issue that I then had is I went and installed the CPU in. You just drop it in, no force, just give it a little wiggle and it should be fine. But I dropped it in, I gave it a wiggle and it started rocking from side to side. Now, 2 corners were in and the other corner was not in properly. So I tried to get it in, I thought, oh, sod it, it's going in. So I took it out, put it back in its case as it was a clear case. I flipped it over so I could see the pins, and there was 2 bent pins on the corner. So I thought, oh, God's sake, Amazon just sent me a CPU with 2 bent pins. So I then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to risk it for a biscuit here. If it breaks, I'll just send it back to Amazon and say, look, you give me a broken CPU here. It's not going to work. And they'll send me another one, you know, no quibbles, I expect. But I thought, you know what, I'll just risk it for a biscuit and try and reassert the pins back into place. And I just use a flat-headed screwdriver and just slightly nudge them into place. Fit them perfectly fine. Perfect. No issues there. So I'm happy. Now, if you're going to do that at home, be very, 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 very careful. Because I'm very confident that if I'd broken that pin, I could have sent it back to Amazon and said, look, this is what's happened. You gave me a broken CPU. I've tried to repair it myself. Or I might not even say I tried to repair it. Just give me a broken CPU. It won't work. Can I get a replacement? They'll give me a replacement. But I can't guarantee if you use somewhere like Scan.uk, eBuyer, Overclockers UK, that they will do that for you if that is the case. So if you're not 100% confident that you'll get a replacement, if you try and repair the CPU and you break it even further, don't bother doing it. That's just me trying to be clever, and it's just somehow miraculously turned out well. So anyway, so thermal paste. Now I don't have to put thermal paste on because the CPU cooler that I got had thermal paste reapplied. Now this is the CPU that I got, but mine was the H100i Pro, not the H150, and it was also an RGB one, not a like standard like. Is it RGB? I'm not entirely sure. I can't stick it up there, can I? No. Mine was RGB, so it's a bit different. So H100i goes in there. I think that is RGB. So yeah, maybe I think that is RGB actually. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, also this rad is at the top, not down the side, because I've got 2 RGB fans on the side. But anyway, so my rad's at the top. Anyway, but that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So anyway, so my 2 RAM sticks. Now I wanted to go with Corsair just because I like Corsair anyway. I've got my mouse pad's Corsair. I would have gone with Razer because my keyboard's Razer, but my headset's Corsair as well. So I thought, you know what, I'll keep it in the Corsair family and I'll just go with Corsair. So we'll go memory, and I got two 8GB sticks. 8GB sticks of Corsair. Well, mine was Corsair Vengeance LPX. Again, it's basically the same as what I had before, except just 3000 megahertz. Mine was 3000 megahertz, and it wasn't Dominator, it was LPX, and it was also white as well. So again, fits with the color scheme of my case. So yeah, I'll have that. It's also not RGB, so that's a bit of a bummer, but never mind, it doesn't make any difference. So anyway, graphics card. We have the 2070. Now I can't. This is the Asus ROG excuse me, Asus ROG Strix GeForce GTX RTX 2070 Super Series. Now this is the one that I've got, but not the Super. I've got the base one. Now for the warrant of the performance difference that's going to happen when we benchmark it, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the the EVGA one. So just because, I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but for all intents and purposes, I just gotta keep it as like, Christ, that's a thick card. I might even not use that one, just because that is one big card. I'm gonna use the Gigabyte one. So yeah, in all fairness, like, there's no reason why I can't use it, but it's just like, I don't know. Anyway, so storage, I still had the terabyte drive, and the 120 gig solid state SATA SSD as well. However, the only thing that I've added really storage wise is I've just added a M.2. I need to take out my graphics card, the M.2 is not going to fit. Come on then. Right, yeah, so stick this in here. So I've basically just got a 1 terabyte. I'll stick this I'll stick this one in, the data one. Yeah, there's no real reason why. Oh, hang on, it's not going in. Go in EPOP. Go on, there we go. Nice. In EPOP. Yep, that's fine. Stuck. Nice. Yeah, so I just wanted a terabyte SSD. There's no particular reason why. I just wanted, like, I wanted more SSD storage. I mean, I needed more storage anyway. My mechanical hard drive was filling up, and I thought, you know what, I need a bit more storage. If I spent 118 quid on that, right? Now, what I could have done is I could have got another terabyte hard disk drive storage unit, and then bought an Intel Optane drive, and then set it up in RAID 0 to exercise that performance and make the performance in the both hard drives a bit more better. But then I thought, you know what, I just get a SATA SSD. It's an M.2 SATA SSD because it'd just be so much quicker, and believe me, it really is. Now, something I wanted to do, the one other upgrade that I did want to put into this PC before I'd finished is get a 120 gig or 240 gig Samsung 960 or 970 Evo Pro M.2 SSD for my operating system, and sell this drive in the back. And the only reason I want to do that for is just to make Windows boot type quicker, but in all fairness, it boots up within seconds anyway, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference, if I'm honest. So power supplies again, the power supply is just exactly as it was. I'll stick the same power supply in. Let's take this thing off here, like so, and stick, no, not that one, this one. There we go. Right, and I think that's it. So let's stick, I'm not even going to bother putting this one back together, I can't be bothered. So like that. Now what I do want to do is I want to just hold that. So RAM, I do have my XMP profile on. However, I don't have my XMP profile on because AMD does not have XMP. AMD does something slightly differently. And also my RAM is at 3200, not 3000 megas. That's just because of I put the RAM speed running wrong, but that was the only one that I had at the time, so the only one that I could use. Also, this one is down at 3.6. So what I need to do is I just need to actually, what is it? Let's just put it down to 3.6, like that, and put that on booster. Close enough. 3612. That's all right. That doesn't make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. Hang on a minute. Yeah, that's M.2. No, actually, no, I don't want it on there. I don't want you on there. I want you on that one. Because again, I could have, when I did my upgrades and put the new motherboard in, I had to reinstall Windows just because Windows are getting slow anyway. It needed a reinstall. However, when I reinstalled Windows, I could have put it on the SATA SSD, but I need to wipe it. So it wasn't really worthwhile me wiping it. So I just thought, you know what, so I'm not going to bother. Just put it on the drive that it was on. And again, just a bit of optimizations on that drive anyway sorted it out. So yeah, it's not a massive issue. So what I'm going to do, set this one up. If the fans on RGB, the pump's RGB, which is nice. So is mine actually, as you've seen for the photo earlier. So let's just set 3D Mark going, and that's be fine like that. Now, what's the score on here? So 2186. The CPU's got better than the graphics card, which is fine. That's what I expected. Because in all fairness, the CPU, consider it's an 8th gen i3. It's only quad core, but it's 3.8 gigahertz. It actually performs really quite well. Like, it performs like, when I got the graphics card in, I thought when I got the 2070, because the 2070 was the thing that, no, I got the RAM first, then the 2070. That was the one that I thought was actually going to bottleneck really badly. I thought the CPU was going to be like just chugging behind, just feet just dragging onto gravel. I thought it was going to be that bad, but it wasn't. It held its own pretty well. It was only when I played games like Battlefront 2 or GTA 5 that I couldn't have the settings up at full max because the CPU couldn't keep up. I couldn't even have it in DirectX 12, which is why I liked playing at. Because that's what I was looking forward to when I get in the 2070 installed. I could go up to DirectX 12 on Battlefront 2 and see that ultra crisp performance and quality. But I couldn't do it because the CPU didn't make it up. Now that I've got the CPU, the new CPU put in, I can go DirectX 12 all the way with full max settings. But it's not a bad CPU, actually. Like, again, that CPU cost me about 90 quid. And for 90 quid, it's a bloody good CPU. And again, if anybody's looking to do, like, light gaming, like, even you can play, like, this PC here, right? Even though it's about, I mean, it says the retail value is 946. I paid about 750 for it. I would have paid less, but I did it right in the middle of when the graphics card and RAM Bitcoin mining was taking place, so it shot the prices up. That motherboard, I could have, that's the 1050 Ti. I could have paid 150 for. I paid nearly 200 quid for it, and the RAM, I could have paid 40 quid for. I paid 80. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but that's just the way that it goes. So, what score have we got? 8,400. That's pretty good. And they're pretty even, so I'm not bottlenecking on either side. The graphics card's obviously going to get more. And if I overclock that'll get even more anyway. So, yeah, it's a good system. It's a really, really good system. I'm really pleased with it. Again, it's not 100% accurate because there's certain things like the graphics card's not 100% accurate, and the RAM's not 100% accurate either. But like, I'm really quite pleased with that. I'm really, really pleased with this system, the system that I've put together. Again, the only thing that I really wanted to put in was our 970 Evo Pro, just for Windows. But in all fairness, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. You know, Windows is snappy enough as it is, and it boots up within about 25-30 seconds. The BIOS takes a little bit of time to boot up because it's a big system, but it's good enough. Like, it does the job. But anyway, that's the system that I've managed to put together, and I've upgraded over the course of so many days. I tell you what, right? Now, if you had told me when I put that system together originally that I think I put that system together in 2017. Yeah, it's 2017 I put that system together, or late 2017. If you had told me then, when I put that system together and started using it, that 2 years on, or 2-3 years on, I would be using a system that's got 8 cores at 3.7 gigahertz with a RTX card in it and 16 gigs of RAM. And the biggest, flashiest motherboard and cooler that you could possibly have. I would not believe you, because I think that's way out there. But this PC, right? To get from the before to after stage, that has been basically 3 years in the making. 3 years in the progress. So anybody who turns around and says, I can't do that, I'll never be able to get a PC that good. This is what you have to go crap to get good. That's sort of what I've learned from doing this. You have to go bad to get good. You can't just go straight to good. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content. If you did enjoy, and would like to see any other videos on PCB and Simulator, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to check it out and do it if I feel that it would make a good video. So, again, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye!